What you doing, bee girl? Oh, hang on. Let me. So Dante's right here, and Sugar walked into the room and is now walking right back out. So no cameo from Sugar, but you got to see Dante for a minute. Well, you can see a little bit of him. See if I can get it. No. Sorry. Hang on. Dante just jumped, and when he jumped, he took the microphone off, which then started to pull the iPad off. So here we are. Okay. Dante has gone to get a nibble. All right. Sorry about the chaos there. We are doing a new design for living. We are starting a new chapter today. Let's do the housekeeping. And all the housekeeping is me reminding you that we are Creative Life Spiritual Center. Website is creativelife.org. Constant contact email, info@creativelife.org. That will get you one email a week, tells you what's going on for the week and the month. The hot links are hot, so click here now means it. And it is a blind CC. Nobody's going to see your email. All right. And then if you were to get more than one, it's almost always weather related. It's because something has happened. And it's usually weather related. So just so you know, we do live on the Gulf Coast. And I mention it merely because the weather's about to get weird. Yeah, the chances of rain today and tomorrow. And then Friday, woo, yay. Yeah. Thunderstorms. Yay, for 3 days. It's been really hot too. Like it's been in the 90s with feels like close to the hundreds, and it's still April. We got 2 more days in April. All right. But I was doing the housekeeping. So let's talk about the social media. Because we don't monetize the social media. We don't want to deal with the ads any more than you do. So what we ask you to do instead is go like, subscribe, follow based on which platform you're on, and then engage with the individual post by reacting to the post, commenting on the post, sharing the post. It bumps us in the algorithms, more people see our stuff. So it's a free and easy way you can support the center. And we are Creative Life Spiritual Center or Creative Life Spark based on which platform you are on. So, and I am the running Rev Ryan across all of the social medias that I am on, which is not that many. So, all right. I said we're starting a new chapter today. A new design for living is the process of science mind. That is just the best way to describe this book. This is the what and the how. No, not the what and the how and the why. Yeah. We don't deal with what. That's why I say we're not really a religion, because we don't deal with the why. We leave the what up to the divine, and we don't teach you what to believe because we believe that is between you and the divine. But we do teach you how to believe and why it's important. Now we do have a what we believe. So if you just get involved with us, you know what we believe. What you believe, again, that's between you and the divine. So, all right. And this is one of his last books. So he was really trying to pull together, like you have the Science of Mind text, and then you have this. And this is the process. Science of Mind text is a lot of really good information that can be kind of interesting to read. I never recommend people start with that. This is definitely going to go in my top 5 books. Don't ask me to pick my top 5 books because I don't think I could do it. But if you ask me my top 5 Ernest Holmes books, this thing called You is definitely my favorite. But I'm really liking this one. So this one is, yeah. And The Living the Science of Mind, that book is phenomenal. So, all right. So we are starting chapter 19, The Larger Life. He always starts with a quote. So let's see what the quote is. And it's an Emerson quote. Of course it's an Emerson quote. We know the truth when we see it. Let skeptic and scoffer say what they choose. Our faith comes in moments. Yet is there a depth in those brief moments which constrains us to ascribe more reality to them than to all other experiences. Emerson. All right. It may seem shocking to say that the only God we can ever know will be discovered within ourselves. Our first reaction to such a concept might cause us to feel that it is blasphemous, that we are causing the individual life to usurp the throne of the Almighty and the prerogatives of the infinite. But such is not the case. Wow, he's just starting off strong on this one. It's like, let's just jump into the deep end with both feet. Although we are on chapter 19, so, we've been swimming for a minute. Any drop of water in the ocean is still the ocean as that drop. But the drop of water is not all the ocean. Well, that's a really good one. That is, I believe, a Rumi quote. I could be wrong about that, though. So, don't quote me. Fact check me and then quote me. So any individual life is God manifesting in, as, and through that individual at the level of that individual's awareness of God. In spite of the fact that all of the great mystics have said, in effect, the Father and I are one, so the Spirit and I are one, why do we find this idea so difficult to comprehend? They have all said that we are one with all life, one with all that God is. Yet, for the most part, organized religion has taught that there is humanity and God, as though humanity were something separate and apart from reality. Sorry. Regardless of what we may have read or may have been taught, we can never meet a bigger or greater God than the one we can conceive of in our own thought. All too often, we have a God created in man's image, in humanity's image, rather than humanity created in God's image. When I was in my undergraduate degree and studying world religion, that is the conclusion I came to. That most of the world's religions are teaching us about God created in humanity's image, not the other way around. And it was one of those moments that made me go, huh. And I did walk away from organized religion for a number of years. That, and I just had a real problem with a God that would send people to hell who had never heard the name Jesus Christ. Like, no. Fortunately, I came back. I just came back to one that aligns more with what I actually believed rather than what I had been taught. So, like, he's just, yeah. Okay. We have created a picture, stepped into it, and been entrapped by it. Okay? When we say that the only God we will ever know, we will discover within ourselves, we do not mean that such a God is a figment or a creation of our own imagination, but rather that there is an indwelling God manifest through our own personal and individual relationship with relationship to the infinite. Ooh, that's a lot. Okay. An indwelling God manifest through our own personal and individual relationship with the infinite. In no way does this minimize God. Rather, it magnifies the Spirit. For how can a person know anything outside of themselves any more than they can jump away from their own shadow? The indwelling God is the greatest single factor in our whole lives. Which reminds me of that old story where and it was I'm pretty sure it was an imam. An imam handed each of his students a chicken and said, kill the chicken somewhere that God can't see you. And one of the students came back with a living chicken under his arm and said, look, I tried all of these places and I couldn't find a place that God couldn't see me. And the imam went, yeah, you got the lesson. So that's what Ernest is talking about. There's nowhere God's not, including inside of you. And when we were aware of that, so, all right, it means that there is nothing between us and God. There is no intermediary. There is no place to go find God. God already exists in the midst of us. And if we try to seek God elsewhere, it would be like God trying to hunt for itself. God is not lost. And neither are we lost or separated from God. There's also a really funny cartoon where there's somebody knocking on the door going, "Have you found Jesus?" And Jesus is hiding behind the curtain. So, here we are. The more completely we are able to see God in everything, the more completely will the one God in all things respond to us. It also will change the way we interact with everything, including all living things. If we see God in all living things, we tend to treat all living things more respectfully. So, all right. Psychologist Gordon Allport has said, a person's religion is the audacious bid they make to bind themselves to creation and to the Creator. It is their ultimate attempt to enlarge and to complete their own personality by finding the supreme context in which they rightly belong. Okay, that's the end of the quote. We do not create the God who responds to us, but rather we are so extending and deepening our own vision that we are beginning to understand that the response to us is by correspondence to our mental attitudes. In this way, God does not increase, but we do. Yeah, I think this is going to be one of those chapters that we're going to, it's going to keep us spinning and really make us think. God corresponds to us. In one way, what I might say is whatever you believe about God, you're right. And that's kind of, that can get really icky really fast. Because people have really awful ideas about God. And that comes from assigning a personality. And that's one of the things that I didn't, you look at the Greek gods and you look at the Roman gods and all of the terrible things that they got up to. And I'm like, that's human personality blown up. And that's not what God is. But what you are, that is what God is. Because you are God having an experience of itself. You are spirit having an experience of itself. So that's why a couple of weeks ago when he said your personality is based on what you believe about God, like that absolutely rocked me back on my heels. Because I was like, oh, well, fortunately for me, I do believe in a loving and compassionate God. Therefore, I, for the most part, have a loving and compassionate personality. I have my moments like everybody else does. So, so I have a sneaky, I don't know. I think Ernest is going to take us to school in this chapter. All right. But I do need, I got to go. I do need to wrap this up. So we will pick up tomorrow with Accept Life. So I'm going to encourage you to have a great day, wondrous day, fantastic day, magical day, an enchanted day, a wonderful day, an awesome day, an amazing day, dance in the rain day, but stay out of the thunderstorms day, drink plenty of water day, be aware of the heat day because it is hot down here. Cuddle your fur babies day, tell somebody you love them day. Sit down and have a good thought about whatever we talked about today because, both feet in it today. A good day, and if that is too much pressure, simply have a day. You are enough, just as you are. You are a beloved expression of the divine. You are a brilliant light, a divine spark, spirit in motion, God in action, an absolutely beautiful masterpiece, and a work in progress at the same time at your own pace. Don't compare yourself to anybody else because comparison is the thief of joy. I forget who says that. I just quoted somebody and I don't know who, so here we are. And as Reverend Jesse likes to call us, you are a godling. So explore the truth of your being. Get to know who the divine knows you to be, because the divine knows you to be good. And from there, anything is possible. Anything at all is possible. Good is all the divine knows. And that's what gives me hope. All right, beloveds. Reverend David should be on around 5 p.m. No, you know what? I don't know when Reverend David's going to be on. I just know he'll be on this afternoon. I'll be back with you around 9:15 tomorrow. Take care of yourself. Know that you are loved.